Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mutilus on Discord.
And this is Parker, formerly One Who Parks, now the Tardiness Executioner on Discord.
That's a really long name now. This is Jeremy.
Yeah, Mr. Long
Jeremy
Name.
on Discord.
This is Aaron. I go by Treffenwood on Discord.
We had to boycott Jeremy's fucking names. Jeremy had like 30-word fucking Discord names.
They were nice.
I couldn't even get half of it into your actual name.
Well, the good news is I couldn't get rid of it. So
yeah, I know. He couldn't figure out how to right-click his own name. It took him legit 100 episodes to figure that out.
It's a skill.
Yeah. You know my ultimate weakness? I've been learning a lot of stuff about technology lately. My ultimate weakness is when you can't right-click something. Like, that's like, I don't know. It's impossible. It seems to be some sort of alien technology. It's like, how do I do this? I'm like, well, here, I just go to, like, I right-click the object, like, here's the option you were looking for. It's the first one. It's like, that's usually how I do things. And it's like, oh, you can't right-click this. Shit.
I'm out.
All right, so we have some updates. Big shout out to, I want to make sure I get the name right. I'm really bad with names. It's like my ultimate weakness. It was Newman from our Patreon actually pointed out to us Parker's bet. Now, I went back and listened to it. Did anybody else? I'm just curious.
No. I did not go back and listen to it, no.
All right. Good to know that I can definitely make up whatever I want here.
I have the transcript here. I'm pretty sure I know what happened.
False. I actually went in and checked. The transcript is noticeably wrong.
I cannot trust anything you say, so
well, you're going to have to. Well, if you have anything against what is said here today, you can feel free to file an appeal.
I appeal.
He's thinking about the appeal. He's like, wait. All right. He told us that Parker made this bet back on episode 146 at the 8-minute 30-second mark. Amazing how quick a turnaround that was. Let's see. It was on the 7th. It was so quick. It was the Sunday. It was like less than 2 days after the episode posted. It's absolutely crazy that he got it that fast. Okay, so I went back and listened to it. It's like a 10-minute segment in which I feel a little bit justified. Parker was also massively confused as to what he was trying to bet the whole time.
I was very, very concerned about the fact that I didn't have anything.
So if you actually listen all the way to like the 15-minute mark, we cover it again, and at which point Aaron and Parker realize they're on the same side of the bets. They're trying to bet the same thing. So they actually never ended up betting this, and I just didn't erase it off the list. So Parker, this is getting erased.
Oh, hey!
So Parker, your correct episode count should have been 2,693, but we have a couple amendments to this. First, you're here today. Good job. You're down to 2,692. Now we have a large adjustment. I don't know if you're aware of this, Parker, but I actually had to reach out to a friend of mine who's a lawyer.
Okay.
He practices family law. And
not bird law?
Correct. I was told when I tried to give your wife bonus probationary episodes for fixing my hoodie that due to common law marriage, it's actually you guys share all values, so it's actually going to work against your probationary episodes.
I don't understand.
You're gonna lose 100 episodes because your wife fixed my hoodie.
Because she fixed the hoodie?
Yeah. Well, because she is fixing the hoodie. Right?
Oh, lost. Oh, you mean losing, meaning I'm not gaining. Okay. Okay. I was going to say, because I was waiting till now to show you, or rather waiting till news to show you, here it is. Here is the hoodie
is fixed.
In all of its glory. And she did a very, very good job.
Yeah, I can't see the hole at all.
Yeah, you can see, actually, the inside is the one that looks even better.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah,
very
she did a
good
really
job. Tell her thank you.
She also put a reinforcement in there, so it should be good. She said if you look at it really closely on the inside, that it's not exactly the same as it used to be because it was fraying, and so she had to actually repair that, and so that you could tell where she repaired it. But
nice.
But
if she looks at the rest of the hoodie, she'll realize that I'm never going to look at it. So.
Right. But she's a perfectionist. An artist.
Right.
So
for people at home, I have a really cool Chiefs hoodie that was wearing out, and so his wife is fixing it for me.
Yeah. It's fixed. It's unfixed. So tomorrow,
Nice.
I'm showing up to game night. No matter what, at least to just give you the hoodie.
Sweet. So, as always, Patreon and partners in the show notes. Moving on, we have currently playing. Aaron, do you dare spoil what you're planning on playing at LVO?
Oh, I dare.
People are going to tech against you. They're going to know what you're bringing.
Well, in the past week, I have tested 2 rosters. One of them has Sentinels. The second one is X-Men / X-Force.
I don't hear
One of those is
Thanos
a trap.
leaderless in either of those examples.
Oh, he might be in one of those rosters.
That's
you can
the trap.
always play unaffiliated. Like, you don't have to bring in a leader or an affiliation to your table.
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually say this, Aaron. I'm excited to know what you're thinking about X-Force. I've been in the pipe
He's
with
not.
another listener.
It's a fucking trap.
And-
I told you.
I'm not lying when I say that there were things that I think X-Force can do right now that is more than I gave them credit for at one time. And I'm excited to know if you actually get to play X-Force, or when you think it would be right to play X-Force, because I think there's a reason to play X-Force right now.
The only reason I would play X-Force is if I'm at 16 and I, for whatever reason, think it's best to bring Thanos, Cable, and X-23. That is the only reason I think I would ever play X-Force.
You've just completely thrown away that list I gave you, I see.
The list you gave me.
Yeah.
He claims all lists.
The Webbies.
The Webbies.
There's still a 20% chance I will play Webs. But
Nice.
I don't think I need a lot of reps with that list. I need to decide if I'm going to take this X-Men list, and that's what I need the reps in. I also
He wants
think
to go 51% this time.
it'd be hilarious. So,
I'm glad it would be funny for you,
yeah. It will be
not
fun
for
you.
me.
Well, you'd have to get through the last chance to be able to play me, and we all know that's not going to happen, so.
Ooh. Shots fired.
I beg to differ.
How
think
many last
there's-
chances have you made it through? Because I've made it through one.
Ooh. 100% success rate.
One as well.
So 1 for 1.
You didn't play in the last chance.
Are we talking about MCP?
Yes.
I know. It was a setup.
No.
I felt myself
Yeah.
getting nailed by that one.
Well, I was going to say because Marvel Last Chance lets more people in, but nowadays it might let even more people in. I heard one year the LCQ let in like fucking 18 people or something.
Mm-hmm.
And just in case any of our listeners think I'm that much of an ass, I am, but I think Jeremy has a good shot to get through.
I have
could be
other
true.
things I would like to do.
I'm
I'm making it a gaming weekend.
to accept your ticket.
I would like to be able to have the opportunity to turn it down. Let's say that.
Fair enough.
I may or may not do that, but
Yeah.
it'd be cool to have that opportunity again.
So, without beating around the bush, though, I am planning on taking unaffiliated Thanos as my primary option. However, upon analysis of that list, I think playing on D's is fucking horrible.
What? Really?
Really? Yeah. So, I ended up looking at 2 different backup options. The first being Wakanda, and then the second being X-Men. And I think I settled on X-Men because I had Logan and X-23 in the list anyway.
Yeah, so you're squeezing in a drop. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was just like three side characters. They could either be Wakandan or they could be X-Men. So yeah, the plan is Thanos unaffiliated. If I get anything brawly, and if I get D's, then it's or even a B. Like, I'm not sure I'd want Thanos on Infinity. I'd have to think about it. Only because I'm not playing super tall. So, anyway, need to practice the list a few more times and see exactly when I would take what. But that's the plan.
Cool. Jeremy, do you have plans for what you're playing at LVO?
Definitely playing Guardians. What that list looks like exactly. I think I've got a couple things I'm going to change, but it's pretty standard stuff. I'm okay. Guardians, that's what I'm playing.
Cool. The Gardeners.
Yeah.
What excites you most about playing Guardians?
How easy they are to play, honestly. They do the things I want to do without trying all that hard. Like, I've
they have
tried
strong
to do
synergies while being
Yeah.
obvious. So like,
I
there's
mean,
nothing wrong with that.
I broke my brain for 2 years trying to invent some new wheel. Like, it's cool.
Mhm.
Like, they fix dice. They can run big guys pretty easily. They fix their dice. Like, I don't know, man. They run bill and affiliation. Holy crap. So, and I can kill the shit out of things with CGR without having to work that hard at it.
Yeah.
It seems pretty standard. I fully expect, when I wasn't playing it, I ran into it all of the time. So it was one of those things where I'm like, I'm better than that. No, I'm not. Like, I'm in. Like, I'll tag in now. I'll try it.
Yeah. I do think you'd like the new Defenders if you ever get around to playing them. I don't know if you've gotten a chance
basically
yet.
every time.
Well, they're also just very similar in concept. They have a lot of overlapping synergies and strong individual characters that kind of get to do their own thing. And so I think I've always equated them to be similar to Guardians. So I was just
Could be
wondering if maybe you would like them.
More fun and less degenerate. I concur.
Yeah.
I will say that there's another thing about Guardians of the Galaxy which I appreciate about them whenever I play them is, and I know this is just totally a fluff thing, and some people get zero out of it, but I love the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, the characters are super characterful. You, like I said, you could do two Guardians and Thanos, and not really be playing their characters, but the ragtag group of space, Robin Hoods is fun. Like, it's a fun concept to play.
I'm a big Peter Quill fan, not comic book version. The MCU version is amazing.
They are different, for sure. I'm a big fan of both, but they're different. What are you bringing to do, LVO, Brandon? That was a setup.
Same thing as you.
Yeah, same thing.
Coward.
Slap this man. I've lately been playing with CAD. That's mostly what I've been playing. So I've been almost doing exclusively stuff on the computer. But I recently played some Cabal, and I enjoyed it. It was fun as always. I like playing smashy stuff and just running at people.
What leadership were you playing, out of curiosity?
Sometimes I would play with Red Skull 1. Sometimes I played with none. Kind of just depends.
Nice.
I'd say my favorite leadership for Cabal is definitely Malekith, but he's obviously less good than he used to be. The leadership's still super fun.
I have a Malekith painted, but I actually never put it down. It's been on my tray a bunch. I've just never actually played with him. I'd be curious to know if I've played against him so many times. I feel like I know him, but never good to myself.
Cool. All right, so moving on to our next topic. Jeremy, did you know that weddings are statistically the most emotional day ever?
I disagree. Go on.
Even the cake is in tears.
Not bad.
John sent me that one. I agree, that one was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm going to give that one probably a 7. Like, it
gets 5 pizza rolls for me.
Yeah, I didn't see where that was going to go, and I think it was pretty clever.
Yeah.
Good job, John.
I figured I've tortured you enough with Connor and Brandon jokes, so time to get some good ones in there. Some of those were hard to listen to.
Yeah, they actually were.
Ones like this. So, Jeremy... No, I'm just kidding.
Please don't.
Please don't.
I have been so good lately.
Alrighty, so next up we have From the Forums. We don't do From the Forums a lot, and if you're a long-time listener, you'll know it's usually not good. However, today is the same. So moving on. We have a pre-ruling on a thing that's been asked for many, many months now. The Red Skull 3 ruling is finally coming down the pipe. And you guessed it, nobody was right. They are errating the card. To say something totally differently. It's basically going to end up working like Domino and Malekith. If you're not familiar with those rulings, they're moving the trigger timing from while rolling dice to when rolling dice but before resolving criticals, which is what they seem to have been enforcing at a lot of events, which is not in any way, shape, or form representative of the wording of the card, but I imagine some people probably had some insight as to what was going to happen. So, yeah, so we'll see. Aaron, does this make him trash?
No.
Hot take.
Yeah.
Why? Why is he not trash?
Well, okay, why would this make him trash? So this is when you would normally want to change the die anyway.
It's the ideal timing,
right?
For when it succeeds.
Correct.
However, you no longer get the opportunity to
you don't know your opponent's dice rolls.
Yeah, it's find out after mods kind of stuff.
It is clearly less good than after the defender rolled dice. So that takes him down a peg. It does not make him trash.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with how the leadership played, especially with killy people that like to reroll, especially native rerolls. So the skull here just helped out. I want to say that in maybe 10 to 15% of my dice rolls, I would choose not to reroll based off of my opponent, because I either already killed them or they already blocked it all. But most of the time, I'm still trying to push damage through. And so choosing to reroll before the crits is fine. The other corner case issues, in which case it's nerfed in terms of it no longer, if it's not a reality gem, it doesn't turn back into a crit after you reroll it, right? The other benefits of reality gems is also kind of a side, not side grade, but small nerf. I still think he's a totally fine playable leader.
Cool.
Now, I do have one issue with the ruling. Not the ruling. With the mechanic in the game that makes you stop after you've rolled dice before your opponent rolls dice. I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
Like, let's speed the game up. We both roll dice. We both explode crits. We get to the, now I can decide if I want to reroll or not, that most reroll characters have in the game. Instead, I've always hated the Domino Malekith timing bucket to where you're totally like, don't roll, stop! And now they roll, and like, does it count? Does it not count? You're like, oh, I fucking hate it. I just hate it. So the fact that there's another rule or character in the game that has that same mechanic is disappointing from a personal standpoint.
Yeah, more often than not, people just skip past it anyway, and so you end up getting a lot of free information, which is obviously not good, because that just means everyone's playing it wrong.
What you call free information, your opponent might call past your timing step window, therefore you may no longer execute that.
Well, it entirely depends on if your opponent's not giving you appropriate time to roll, and now we get to enter the argument phase.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, I mean, when I roll my dice, I haven't even counted my crits yet, and my opponent is like, it was in a hurry, so he rolled first anyway, and now he's doing his one reroll out of reflex, and I haven't even rolled my extra crit dice yet. It's like, and he's already finished mods, like, but it just slows the game down to wait, so...
Right, you also might be trying to manage your power. Like if you have one power, you're like, well, if I kill him and I can't pick up the scenario point he's holding, like there's shit you might need or want to decide right then, and if your opponent's just rolling. But
not to mention, people are usually excited when they have a crit in their box. So they're excited to get that die on the table, and so like they don't even think that there's shit that happens first because there's only like a handful anyway. What I would like to see, I doubt they would ever do, but it would be interesting to like talk to a dev and ask them, why don't they just change the wording of those rules to just be basically verbatim the crit step? And I know it'd be convoluted, but like, hey, Red Skull's Leadership could say, in the dice mod step, change a skull to a crit, and it adds the die to the pool.
When you do your rerolls?
Yeah, so like it's like at the start of the modification step, you may mod a skull to a crit and add a die to your pool. Now, it would be obviously wordy and long, but it'd skip that timing issue that they're currently having.
Right. It would allow you to see your opponent's roll, though, so you'd get to decide whether or not you want to do it. Make that.
But that's the whole point, is to get past that timing issue. Mm-hmm. Yes, it would be a little bit better, but honestly, we could also just make skulls not fucking explode. How about that, AMG? How about that? I'm a little over skulls critting at this point.
Yeah, no, it's your favorite rule. Your favorite rule you don't want to keep seeing pop up.
Or skulls counting.
I think it's just a lazy way to do it. I mean, not that it's like it causes more problems than it fixes, right? If your goal was to make dice better, just give them more mods. Like skulls should fail. That's just the way it works. It's like it's part of the problem is like these alpha predator models are generally abusing skulls in some way. We got Thanos, we got Malekith, we got CGR. They all abuse skulls. Turns out Magneto was never abusing the game. It's like, how about we just follow the game rules?
Every time we get close to this, when we run into this topic of this is step 6 or whatever, and it's like entering the hotel from Shining, and blood starts coming out of the elevator. It's like, what have you done again? And I just keep having flashbacks of when Wakanda was like reverse time walking, and everybody's like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
They're just staring at dice. Both are going, I don't know. I don't even know what to do. Yeah.
Anyway. Well, so anyway, it's not currently fixed. They're just going to fix it in an errata sometime. Thanks for the news forum.
Thanks for the heads up.
That's honestly the most annoying part. It's like, how about you just errata it? If you waited this long, just errata it. Like, just do it.
Yep.
Quit fucking around. Fucking do it.
Don't tell them what to do.
We're thinking about it. All right, that's the first thing we're gonna think about.
Maybe sometime we may. Is like, shut the fuck up. How about this? If you release something that has such a bad interaction in the game that you have an unanswered rules question for north of a month, let alone 6 months, which we've had, how about you just errata the card anyway? Like, just do it. Like, it's clearly not helping anybody the way it is. Like, just do an emergency errata. It's like, hey, we're fixing that by doing this, and then we'll sometime print a new card. We'll make it better later. Like, I feel like they're worried about getting it just right, but it's already not right, so just do something. Anyway. So moving on. We got a couple topics today. So, first of all, we had a tournament.
Yeah.
Some people said it was the greatest tournament they've ever been to. It was said by some, not everyone.
It was said by some.
It was awesome. Huge turnout, by the way. I'll start with that. Great job to the whole community for showing up for this one. Whenever
it is holiday season too, so like it is hard for people to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, we announced we're going to do a new format. That doesn't always get people. Sometimes that really backfires because people don't want to play the alternate thing. But a lot of people showed up precisely.
How many people showed up?
So that was cool.
19.
Oh my god! And I missed this? Son of a bitch!
Yeah, there were 19.
Jeremy's bailing for everything lately.
As just a local once a month tournament, it was awesome turnout.
It was popping.
You should try coming next time.
There's a lot of people there I don't like.
Personally, I think Jeremy should just keep not coming to tournaments. It actually went pretty well.
Yeah, I do add a certain pizzazz. I'm the guy at the bar that always throws a bottle into the glass wall. That kind of business. Yeah. Anymore, I just hand out free wins. So I mean, I'm the life of the party, really.
There you go.
Can confirm.
Shut the fuck up. God.
Documented evidence.
So what happened? You special tournament? What were you doing? What was going on?
So we did, for people that don't know, we did a Battle Realms tournament, which is the alternate game mode on the AMG site. It's been up for probably north of a year and a half. There's a little bit of a massaging you have to do because this was designed on the previous mission packet. So, like, it technically says that you're supposed to, the primary player gets to choose color and priority and, like, everything. So, we basically just house ruled that it's the current who gets to pick what rules. The mission selection is actually pretty cool. Basically, both players get to choose a mission because it was based in the old format when it was discard one, choose from the remaining two. And so you bring 5 missions though, and so actually I think it's a really good way to do missions because the only having to do 3 of each type, it kind of lets you put yourself in a box, and so it encourages these one-dimensional lists, making you play 5 missions. Let me tell you, there's no list that likes 5 missions. Like, you're always doing, like, you're out of your comfort zone and into your I can do this, but it's not what I want to do. And so it doesn't let you play these scripted go-to formula plays because you're not like, well, I've got, the 3 good pay to flips and that's all I have to do. It's like, no, like you have to play not pay to flips basically.
That's what it really does. It's not that you can't figure out a way to do it. It's that you must figure out something else to do. Yeah.
But it's really kind of big because so once you've got your 5 missions, right, you deal 1 at random out of your deck, basically. Both players do. Then as the player with priority, you'll choose which of the 2 colors to choose from. You'll look at both of them, the one generated by each player, and you'll decide between those 2. Your opponent will do the same thing for the other colors. So obviously you're picking missions in your best interest. But if you just happen to deal the one bad mission for you of your 5, you might be playing a mission that's completely terrible for you, or like bad against your opponent, because you no longer can go, it's like, well, I just won't play Researcher because, I don't want to play against like Thanos or whatever. It's like, well, if you're not playing Researcher at 5 deep, you're playing half the extracts. Now you're playing like, cubes. And you're like, okay, well, that's very different playing cubes and Researcher. And so it's a lot of actual decision making you make versus just going auto add the obvious 3, and it's very boring. And so that's a cool way to do it. Also, the drafting mode, a lot of people initially were really concerned it was going to take forever. We did a 5-minute chess clock per player. Nobody even got close to going to time. So, yeah, it was super easy. You add maybe 10 minutes around, and it was a blast.
Yeah, I think the tournament went as fast as any tournament we've ever done. Like, it was not... Mm-hmm. It didn't slow things down.
We did. I can't remember what time we had. I always forget to look at the clock when we're done, but we had it completely packed up. I want to say by like 5:30.
Mm-hmm. We did 4 rounds.
Yeah, 4 rounds, lunch break, and we were gone to dinner by 6 if we wanted.
Yeah,
like it was in and out.
Yeah, so anybody who's scared of Battle Realms slowing you down, it's not like that. Yeah. It plays.
Mm. I think it's very nice because it adds another level of thinking to the game. So if you have ever gotten to the point where you're like, okay, well, I'm doing, such and such versus Y again. And so it's very scripted matchup. I think this really does a really good job of shaking it up and giving you some new decisions and new experiences. Anyone who has not played Battle Realms, which is, I imagine, north of 99% of the population, please go try it. I'm not, you're doing yourself a favor. Go try it. It's actually super fun.
What blew me away that was really interesting is that, and I talked to a lot of people at the tournament, and they agreed, is it doesn't because you do get 8 models when you're done, and the way they designed the I-ban, U-ban, it is really hard to be completely closed out of what you'd like to do. Like, I never felt like I brought Shadowlands, Daredevil, and MODOK too. And so I was playing criminals with a lot of bullets, and I actually never totally got shot out of that game plan. You would think that, you're like, well, that's a very, niche list. As it turns out, it was really hard for somebody to stop me from doing it because of the amount of models that I could put on my board. You put 15 models on the board, you just can't totally stop you. So if you want to play something, you'll get to play it. However, what it does allow you to do is to look at your opponent's board and go, you know what, I really don't want to play against Ultron 2. I saw Ultron 2 several times over the tournament, and I knew my list was very weak against Ultron 2. And so I just said, no Ultron 2. I'm going to give myself, a better experience because I'm not going to have to play against Ultron 2. So there are things that you could do all day to just say, I really don't like to see that kind of model or that kind of leadership. It was cool to be able to, basically, you didn't have to see your worst matchup throughout the tournament, and your opponent couldn't totally destroy what you wanted to do. So I liked it a lot.
The way that the banning process works out, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but it's what my experience has been. It doesn't stop you from your opponent playing a specific character. It doesn't stop them from playing a specific affiliation. The 2 things that you get to do with your bans is break up one specific character combo. So I don't want to play Thanos and CGR. I don't want to play Hulk and Sam. I don't want to play, I'm trying to think of other broken combos. I don't want to play against Ultron 2 and MODOK 2.
I don't want to deal with Iron Man in Sam or...
Yeah, Sam and Iron Man. Whatever the 2 character combo you think is. You can stop that. That is just straight up in your wheelhouse. It is a decision you get to make. You get to break up one of their duos, and your opponent will not get to play the specific set of characters they want to play. So when we talk about lists that end up being very derivative, like the Sam 17, the go-to Sam 17 point list is not in any way, shape, or form fun to play against. It's very derivative. It's very strong. They don't get to do that. That list is not in play. Now, they might play other strong characters to replace it, but you're going to get to knock out at least 2, if not 3 of those 5 characters. Yeah. So that's what I really like about the format. And so those 2 aspects, breaking up a specific character combo, where it's I've got Lockjaw and Malekith. It was well, guess what? You don't have Lockjaw if you take Malekith. If that's what I don't want to play against, you don't get to play it. Mm-hmm. And then after that, you don't get to play your optimized list. you have to play a non-optimized list against my non-optimized list because we're both playing third and fourth choices in those point slots. And so that's what I really like about it.
It also lends you to see more models off meta for that exact reason. Like you will just end up seeing more models that go kind of down. It's your second and third choices rather than your first choices, like you do every other game. So for anybody who plays a lot of MCP, you will really enjoy this because you'll be able to, see a lot, more of the width of the game. And for anybody who, you'll also be very discerning about how you break up the meta choices that you're familiar with. But if you are a beginning player, and like this kind of thing happened too, where somebody says, well, my friend always plays Venom. I hate playing against Venom, right? Just because he always feels like he rolls over me with Venom. So no, you don't get to play Venom. I had Blob in my list, and somebody banned Blob as like their second choice because they're like, oh man, I have a friend who plays Blob and I hate that character so much. And so I was like, well, ban him, and he did. And then he enjoyed it more. At the end of the game, he was like, it didn't go the way I wanted, but at least I didn't have to play against Blob. Like that's what he said. And I was like, there you go. Like that's Battle Realms. Even when somebody takes an L, at least they didn't have to do it playing against the thing they hate and see themselves losing to all the time.
I also saw several people doing a truce where it's like, hey, how about we both just don't first pick CGR, so we'll both ban CGR. And they were like, yeah, I'm fine with that. And so it's like they got to play a game without CGR because that's how they wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. I think it's super fun. It's definitely not the only way you should play the game, but I think it should be a prevalent way the game is played.
Absolutely. There's not a reason to always only play it, but man, it was. I will be sad if I go 3 months without playing a game of Battle Realms now. I think I will insert it into, like, I think I will always bring 15 models to game night, and I'll let people tell me what they like to play, but I think I'm always going to bring 15 models in case somebody wants to do Battle Realms with me, because I will enjoy that.
It's also much easier to do like a dual affiliation. It's like 15 character slots is a lot of fucking character slots.
Mm-hmm. Aaron, what was your experience? You've been quiet, but I know you were there.
I was there. So I played Sense, which is probably the most challenging affiliation to play in Battle Realms. But yes, I did put 2 Mark IVs on my board. There was it was fun. I agree with everything you all said. I have a couple of other caveats, but my personal experience was a blast. I took Cent Prime first every time. I got screwed into points on one of my missions, and my opponents were just banning, like, because I told them I want to play Sense. I also had Kingpin in the list. Like, it was Sentinels plus 9 criminals. I was like, if you want to ban my Sense, I'll just play Kingpin, and I brought all Kingpin friendly Securas, if you will.
Yeah.
So I think they banned like 3 of my Scent models because I had to pick a 2 with my second choice. And so my next choice was like, okay, I guess I pick Kingpin and Rhino. And they're like, whoa, I thought you said Sense. I'm like, yeah, but you banned every model I could take. So I have to swap the Kingpin.
You did this.
And then they're like, well, what if I unban Taskmaster? Yeah. And I'm like, then I'll play Sense. And they're like, okay, unban Taskmaster. So...
Yeah, Nigel spoke to me at length, well, not at length, at brief length for Nigel about, he tried to also do the Sentinel plan and found that immediately everyone kept banning whatever his other 5-pointer was he had not yet taken after his first pick. And I was like, well, what else did you have? And he's like, no, I just played pure Sense. I'm like, Sentinels is not a 15-character list, you crazy person.
Yeah.
And so, like... No wonder. It's like, you just put something else there. It's like, okay, so like you sit down at the table like Aaron did. It's like, all right, so I'm planning on playing Sentinels. And so you first pick Sentinel Prime, and you just look down at Thanos and CGR. I'm like, what do you want to play, sir? Would you like to play Happy Go Fun Time? Or would you like to play against this hot horse shit I got for you over here? And they're like, yeah, I'll ban CGR. I was like, oh, cool. I guess I'll take, Cassandra Nova and my rogue agent. And then we'll play an actual game.
Yeah, I ended up playing the Mark IVs twice. They were not, like, horrible.
Yeah.
So the Mark IVs were fun. Playing Sets was fun. The entire format was great. Everything you guys said was spot on. I will say that I have two negatives regarding the format. One is the obvious advantage larger affiliations have, right? So I think Gabe ended up tying for first with Avengers. I don't even know what he took for his roster, but I think Avengers are just point in case an affiliation that great. You just banned Cage. Oh, look, I have an Iron Fist. It does the exact same fucking thing. Like also affiliated. Like I don't. If your stable of affiliated models is so wide and good that which three you get to take doesn't really matter, then your affiliation is going to be advantaged in this format.
I can definitely see how that's true. Like, massive redundancy is clearly nice in a band format. But that being said, that still means you're filling up all of your character slots with duplicates of similar characters.
Yep. I didn't say unbeatable. I just said advantaged.
But I mean, it's not like Avengers are any secret tech or anything anyway.
The second quibble I'll make. Go ahead.
I just real quick, I will say there are some factions that are disadvantaged due to their massive lack of affiliated characters. Mm-hmm. Like the 4 model affiliations, like that's just never going to be good.
Right.
And there's not really anything you can do about it. They're not designed to be playable. They're designed to be fun. And
right.
So
they're also
trying to have fun in a pick band format, and you don't. I think that you're playing the wrong person.
Sure, and if you bring Sentinels to a pick ban and be like, this format's bullshit because my Sentinels are disadvantaged, you're like, well, they're pretty much disadvantaged in every format, so it doesn't matter.
Just like if you're like, well, I want to play a comic book accurate team, so I took this run of Thunderbolts. And you're like, yeah, but they're all bad. And you're like, I don't care, I'm only playing the official Thunderbolts. I'm like, well, that's fine. I hope you have a good time, and then you get mad when you lose. I'm like, who are you really mad at here, buddy? Like... Like, I thought you wanted to have fun. Now you're mad you lost. Like, I don't know.
My second quibble, though, is with what Kenny did. Kenny was also the champion, where you just he took.
No, Kenny got second place.
Oh, okay. The undefeated second place. He took CGR, Thanos, Star-Lord, and he always took CGR first and was like, ban a leader. I don't give a shit. I'll take the other one.
Yeah.
So there are ways. And I think that is a CGR issue, not a Battle Realms issue. Just like CGR can break normal games, he can also break Battle Realms. So, yes, you could tell him you don't get to play with Thanos, but if you're playing a list that doesn't give a shit, then it's pretty strong. So, Battle Realms is not going to fix MCP, but I did find it to be an extremely fun and engaging format. That is probably the most fun you can have in the game if neither party is trying to be degenerate with it. I realize there's a lot of leveraging degenerateness to gain a strategic and tactical advantage is kind of what people do. Like what Kenny did. I don't fault him for it. It was great. But if you're just playing like an Avenger list or Brotherhood, whatever the case may be, just a generic list in any format, not any format, of any characters without a specific degenerate plan, I think it's great.
If you're putting a try-hard competitive roster up against someone who's just trying to have fun and playing thematic stuff, that they're generally going to have a worse time competitively, then I would agree. But I don't know that we've have enough data showing that just because he played CGR, he did well. I mean, Kenny's not exactly a bad player, but I think anytime you have a good player playing good models, you should expect them to win a decent amount of their games. And CGR, in his own essence, is like a high variance character, so... Like, if you play him over 100 games, he's going to shit the bed a fair amount. It just doesn't happen in a 4-game stretch. It's really all that matters. I think that's why most people hate him, is because the game is decided by how well he rolls.
Yeah.
Alternatively, I played CGR in all of my games, and my CGR decided to shit the bed in 3 of them. So, I did not do so well.
Yeah, I could say that I agree with you, Aaron, that there are ways to tweak it and improve to improve your chance of winning by looking for ways to exploit the style. But I think you could also do that against CGR. Like, one of the things we often say is, like, if you have a above meta model like CGR, one of the best things to do is to take the challenge and go ahead and see if you can find a way to deconstruct CGR as best you can, counter him as best you can. And because he's above meta, it's not going to be easy, but you can try. And I didn't try, but I think you could try even inside of this format to improve your likelihood of beating CGR. I don't know if anybody did that, at our, at that event because we were, like I said, we were all trying battle realms and wanting to play the things we wanted to play, and it was going to be fun. But I think you could still do it. I think if you created a battle realms and you knew a portion of the population was going to try hard to win, I think the tactic of trying to beat CGR is doable, I suppose.
I don't think anyone has even tried to beat CGR as like a serious mindset yet. Like everyone I see just keeps playing the same stuff into him and seems surprised that he's still winning. Mm-hmm. Like I know that people like think about what affiliations they play when they're going to go to tournaments because of CGR, but like I don't see anybody making changes to their list. They're just playing the same list into them.
There's anecdotally plenty of people who have changed and made additions at the competitive level.
Okay. Anybody else have any other takeaways? Jeremy, do you have any questions?
No, I'm surprised that many showed, and also how quickly you all got through 4 rounds. That's really cool. I'm sorry to have missed it, as it is a decent alternative to the standard format. I'm sure it was fun.
Yeah. We really didn't have that many travelers either. Was it the furthest away was just pretty much our locals? We had some people from Topeka, but I mean, I consider them locals, so.
Yeah, but people like the Ottawa crowd and Topeka don't show up for every tournament.
That's true.
But they all did for this one. So that's kind of what made it different was, we got a lot of locals show up and even extended locals, if you will.
Yeah, I think due to incoming weather and, holiday stuff, I think, because usually Des Moines and Springfield send people, and they didn't this time, so.
I would say that this is, whenever I go to a tournament and there's an alternative format to the standard play, I almost always, the word is not regret, but I'm never satisfied. I'm never happy about it. Even when I go to like cons and somebody tells me there's going to be a really cool thing where like a what if scenario where you can do any leadership and all this stuff, and some people just eat that stuff up, and I get it, it's for you, and I'm not mad that you love it, but I never enjoy it because I've tried it. But this is the very first one that I've ever participated in that I was like, this is just as a valid and interesting and useful way to play this game, which is weird because that's not my usual take. I'm usually excited to get back to the usual standard. This is the first time it's ever happened when I was like, this is just as interesting to me as the actual game.
I would say usually when you play in those new alternate like experimental game types, it's almost always like they had a good idea and they tried to implement it the best they could, but there's like all these big glaring holes or issues with it where it's like character drafting is fun, but like it's a lot of logistical issues to jump through, so it's really hard to play on a regular basis. And also it creates obviously busted combos that were never intended. But Battle Realms so far hasn't had any glaring holes. Like there's obviously, flaws with every system, but cool. All right, so moving on to our next topic, we're going to do some LVO predictions. Are you guys excited for LVO?
I'm very excited.
Depends how my testing goes.
I'm excited to win some episodes. I want to make some. This is a Vegas event. Surely I should be betting on things, right? Like it's quite on brand.
Go wrong.
John, please remove the palm of your hand from your forehead as you listen to the remaining 20 minutes of this podcast.
Oh boy.
I'm so good at betting, guys. You guys have no idea.
We literally have a record of how good you are at it.
Yeah.
No, he said he was good at betting, not successful at betting. He bets really well.
He's good at
I am
entering
really
the
good
bets.
at betting.
Yep.
I'm good at buying scratch-off tickets.
Can we still look up last year's?
Yeah.
Tended. Just scroll all the way down. Oh, yeah, it's on here. LVO Invitational.
Longshanks never dies. I will say I am significantly less confident about the meta this year than I was last time. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, you probably just haven't played as many games this year as you did last year, right?
At this time. That is a true statement. But I also...
You're hundreds of games behind.
600 games. You played 600 games this year.
Recently, though. I only
That's
played
true. Your games were very heavily front-loaded, or at least mid-loaded.
Yeah, I only played 35 in December, and 6 so far this year.
It's like baby numbers.
I know, right? But last year there was some definite top of the meta. This year there are also top of the meta affiliations, but unlike last year, CGR exists and is so meta warping. I don't know if people are going to try to pivot to a specific anti-CGR counter or just kind of stick with, I'm just going to play Vanilla Brotherhood and figure it out. Throw in a Carol 1 and call it good. I don't know. That's where I'm at.
I have a hot take.
Takes. Yeah.
I have a hot take based upon that. I think that we're going to see a repeat of the Malekith at the last LVO. And he was a bit of a boogeyman. Yeah, he had already been taken down a peg or so, but he was still considered a boogeyman in the last LVO. And the Malekiths all ate each other, or they were so heavily played leading up to that the people at LVO are such the, creme de la creme. They're the players who have all this wealth of knowledge. They all were so intimate in what he does. They had the ability to deconstruct his game plan. Maybe everyone can agree that CGR is so much more broken than Malekith, but I don't think that's true. Also, we have a lot of evidence, like Brandon's, which is to say that he can just have a terrible game. And if you base your whole plan on him having a great game, then, rather his great dice, right? Just dice is what he needs. So because of that, I think CGR is going to underperform at LVO. Because of specifically the meta, the group of players he's playing in, and the propensity for him to fail, and then for you to just be out of the running.
I would wager CGR will be in the winning roster, but I wouldn't wager it at 1-to-1 odds.
Parker would, though, don't worry.
I know. Well, he just said he wouldn't, so.
1.
No, I do not think CGR. I do not think CGR will be in the winning roster. I will bet episodes on that.
Okay, so it sounds like we got.
There we go. Now we're going
down here.
Now we're
going. See,
All
you guys have stood on opposite sides of your fence, and you've started a feud. How many feud cans would you like to bet?
I will bet. Let's see. You know why? I picked up this number first. I'm gonna throw it out. 300 episodes.
Oh, God,
that CGR will not be in the winning roster.
All right, you lose. Now, would you like to bet again?
Candy for my baby.
I do think that there's going to be a bit of scenario where it's one of those when like you take a predator out or you put a predator in, and it turns out the predators kind of eat each other as well, and so maybe there's a couple left over. But it'll be interesting if not necessarily knocking each other out, but it's like, do they feed on the things that feed on the other things, and like what will be left? Like, will it be CGR versus CGR? I wouldn't doubt that.
Well, there's also, like, last year what happened is there's, like, a ton of X-Men players, but they all got paired into each other early on.
Yeah.
Just through random chance. And so all the pay-to-flip lists were playing on pay-to-flip missions. And so they were just coin flipping every match. And then, like, only 3 of them made it out of the first 2 rounds, I want to say. And so it was just like, and then they like all lost in the 3rd round. It was like, oh my God, all the X-Men players are gone. And they were the most popular faction, just out of nowhere. It was crazy. All right, Aaron, you said you wouldn't want to bet straight up. So how many episodes would you like to bet against Parker's 300?
I don't bet probationary episodes.
Do you just bet in dollars?
I bet stuff that is real.
But Parker's feelings are real.
His feelings are real, yeah.
Despite what I tend to believe. All right, I guess Aaron's not taking your bet.
Wait, so I can't have the bet because Aaron doesn't want to.
I'll put $10 on it. How about that?
$10 versus Parker's 300 probationary episodes.
Yes.
So wait a minute, I have to give Jeremy $10.
No, you'll win the probationary episodes, but if you win, you won't get rid of episodes. You'll just get $10.
What?
It's like, money is worthless to me.
Yes. What is that? Is that the point?
Look, I'm just trying to get him to bet more. Guys, come on.
Hold on. I don't understand.
Eventually.
Why does anyone need to take? Why does anyone need to take the bet? I thought it was always I just gain or lose episodes.
There's this magical being in the sky that just bets with him.
I don't understand because Aaron
just
clearly
walks outside, goes, "I bet it's going to rain today," and then just opens his wallet. Is like, "Where's my money?"
all of you think I'm wrong, so surely
Oh, I
I
don't
should
think you're
gain
wrong.
and lose episodes based upon my opinion that you guys think is wrong. I don't understand why anyone needs to
So,
lose
Parker, you said
something.
that CGR will not be in the winning roster?
Yes. So the
Okay,
only person
I
who's...
actually agree with you. I don't think CGR is going to win.
Oh.
But Aaron does, so we're going to have the bet go with him. So Aaron is going to match your bet of 300 episodes because he refused to put in a number
Okay.
that CGR will not win LVO. Aaron thinks he will. Parker thinks he will not.
Okay.
I'm going to put this in a new format that makes more sense for reading in like the future. Okay, so I'm putting together some questions here that we can all put in answers for. We've got which faction's going to win, which faction will be most popular, which model will be most popular, which tactics card will be most popular, and which faction will be least popular. Does anybody else have good questions they'd like to throw on the list?
Final four.
Top 4 factions?
Yep, the final four.
I'd like to keep it to single answer if possible.
Okay.
Because that way we're not all giving 4 factions. That just gets really
You can
complicated
have like most popular at each threat level.
at each threat level.
Mhm.
Most popular 3 threat, 4 threat.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that works. Okay. Nah, I think that actually takes the fun out of it.
Okay.
So,
You could do most popular leader instead of affiliation. You could do that. Or do you think that's
is that
too
easy to
granular?
look up?
Guardians only
it's hard to
has
tell-
one leader, so it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's also hard to look up like if they were played as leaders. So just be checking
Oh,
which
that's
model
true.
with a leadership was played the most.
We can't actually... Can we check
But
that?
it'd be included in the most lists. And so, like, let's say a model like Magneto or Thanos could be in every list, and it would count because we don't know if they're the leader or not. Although
Got
we could reverse engineer if they were the leader or not.
Okay, I'm with you.
But that's not a terrible thought process. How about this? How many factions will be unrepresented?
How many times
Unrepresented.
will someone play an unaffiliated roster?
6.
By unaffiliated, you mean they enter unaffiliated on their squad?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, is Aaron planning on dropping any rounds?
Planning?
No. It only counts for because we can't really see. It's fine. Unaffiliated is weird the way it's entered into Longshanks, so it's hard to track sometimes.
That's very easy.
It is if people enter their shit correctly.
Well, yeah. You kind of have to.
I don't want to name names or anything, but I know somebody who played unaffiliated at the WTC. Okay. Any last minute throw-ins? And we can add more as we're going. Okay. So let's just start at the bottom. How many factions will not be played, not including unaffiliated, because it's not a faction? So how many affiliations will not be represented at the LVO Invitational?
Who's going first?
You can shout them out.
5.
Ooh,
How many affiliations will not be? Like, no one's
represented. Yeah.
Now, when you say represented, do you mean, like, we had a Weapon X guy last year, and I don't know if he ever actually played them, but it was technically something he could play because he had 3 affiliated models.
No, it has to get played.
No. Yeah, it
Oh.
has to be a playable option, and they actually like a legitimate playable option.
Okay.
Like Dark Dimension, anyone with Dormammu counts as Dark Dimension. Anyone with My Hellfire Club Tactics card and Emma Frost will count as a Hellfire Club. Yeah, other than that, it's kind of like, we'll look through it, but I mean, some people will surely not report correctly. But just because they're playing Black Panther doesn't mean they're playing Wakanda. So, like, it's kind of, some of it is like, common sense stuff, but
I'm going to say 3.
I'm going to say 4.
Parker said 4. Jeremy said 3. I'm going to go with 5 as well.
You can't just copy the winning answers. That's cheating.
Who's
false,
the
that's-
5th one? I counted 4, but who's the 5th one, do you think, Aaron?
I did not have 5 specific ones in mind.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking Weapon X Sentinels Winter Guard, and then I don't think Convocation or Dark Dimension will be played either. That's kind of what I'm going with, but I'm just going to put out 5.
Convocation is
Also,
a hot take.
Black Order is pretty uncommon. Spider Foes is pretty uncommon. Like, any of those, I just need a coin flip either way.
I think Black Order will get played once because of CGR.
probably. Least played faction. So this obviously might end up in a tie, but we're gonna go with least played that gets played, not unplayed.
Oh, least
So it
played
has to
gets
be
played.
represented, but it has to be tied for the lowest or the lowest.
Least played but gets played, so above 0.
Yeah.
Aha, I like that.
1+.
This answer is Black Order.
Damn, that's a good one.
I think there's gonna be multiple Black Orders.
Oh, I'm trying to win this shit.
Weapon
No.
X.
I'm not throwing it. Ooh.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with a very ironic one and say A-Force.
Oh, I was actually thinking about A-Force. Okay.
If I was there, that would not be A-Force, but I might be wrong with A-Force, but I'm trying.
I'm gonna do Convocation. Okay, most popular tactics card.
Fallback.
Brace.
Yeah, brace or fallback. It's gotta be one of those two, and I'm choosing.
I'm also going Brace. I don't like losing.
I
I was trying to think of something other than Brace.
It's gonna be Brace. That one's What about?
All right.
I think
Parker's
what's
gonna
more
win some
important-
money on this one.
What about the second? I think second is most important.
Okay, we'll put in second.
Which will be sacrifice.
It actually won't be sacrificed. That's a good guess.
Yeah, it'll be fallback then.
I think the second most popular will be brace. Quite confident.
Aaron, did you say fallback?
I didn't. I'm actually debating patch up, but I think I'll go with Jeremy and say fallback.
I'm gonna say sacrifice.
Oh yeah, I mean against Jeremy. That's right.
Alrighty, next up we have the most popular model. I'm going first, Black Cat.
You were totally wrong.
Okay, prove me wrong.
I will in about
The
12
most
days.
popular model.
Toad.
Wow, Jeremy's going with Toad.
Do you guys
Free money at Jeremy's house.
Parker?
Oh man, this is hard. Bill, Bittery Bill.
Ooh, that's a good answer.
I will concur with Parker. It's either Bill or Dynamo, and we're gonna go with Bill.
Aaron, you really need to stop copying other people's answers.
Uh-huh.
So we got most popular faction, Avengers.
That gets.
I
I mean, per round it gets played, right? Not like rosters that show up.
Nope. Affiliations registered for tournament.
Okay.
It's gonna be Guardians.
I'd say it's Guardians.
Avengers.
I think when the chips are down, they're going to realize that Avengers beats Guardians.
Oof.
I just think that's kind of true, and I think that the people that are going to this event are going to know that that's true. All right, here we go. Winning faction. So we already know that Aaron thinks it's going to be Guardians.
Man, I would say Guardians, but I'm gonna say Avengers. I think Sam could possibly be the bomb this year and get flooded.
Parker? A-Force?
I want to go like I want to go not super long bomb, but like
You want to shake it up.
Last time when I picked Avengers last year, and I guess I did come close, right? Because that was the final table was Avengers and Shield. Was that right, or Avengers Hydra?
It was Shield final table. I don't remember who the other person was.
Yeah. I want to say either Shield or Inhumans, because I have this feeling that people are going to play Inhumans.
Aaron, all right, can I get you to confirm Guardians for me?
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to say Shield because I don't think CGR.
I got some new stuff.
Shield. So we're going to try Shield.
Alrighty, I got another one for us here. Highest win percentage faction. So just wins versus losses. Doesn't matter which games they win or lose.
And we're not doing a minimum of games, so like if they
Nope.
play one game and get 100%.
Well, I mean, if they play one game, win, and drop, I would be startled and impressed. More likely, a random person with one affiliation would go X and 1 would be the way to generally get the highest win percentage, or to just a random person to win it all, obviously.
No, it's just like if Kenny plays
Or like
Black
you drop
Order once.
Dormammu once. Yeah, drop Dormammu once and win all your games.
Oh, you just have to win the Dormammu game. You could lose the rest of them.
Right, you got to win the off drop. And have nobody else playing that. I'm going with Web Warriors. Wait, is Mike playing Web Warriors?
Mike's not attending.
Okay. Web Warriors then.
I'm gonna go Wakanda. I think Wakanda might get played and whoop up.
Wakanada, that's a good pick. Aaron?
I'm going to say unaffiliated.
He's calling his own number.
God damn, he pointed to the outfield.
All right,
Let's see if he
so
knocks it out.
All right, so Aaron, which affiliation is going to have the highest win percentage, though?
You heard me. You mean other than unaffiliated?
Well, it's not an affiliation, so.
No, but if I picked one, you'd tell me I was wrong, so I'm having to put my mouth where my game dice are.
Well, Aaron, I have a feeling you're going to have to play affiliated at some point.
Hard no.
Okay,
Don't tell him
we'll
what
see.
to do.
Don't tell him what to do. Well, no, I'm laying the secret brain mine, so he's going to be like, but if I play affiliated, Brain will make fun of me, so I'm going to play unaffiliated, and then he'll actually win the game.
I actually think it's going to be Black Order.
Black Order, huh?
Okay. I think Black Order is going to get played once and win the one game.
Jeremy, hit me with some knowledge. Use your Ripley brain and flex out some facts.
You know what? I like Wakanda. Succulent. Yeah.
Wakandas.
I do like Wakanda. That was a good call.
Everyone message Jeremy audio clips of you saying succulent.
No.
He really likes that word.
It's a succulent word.
Would you say, Jeremy, that your greatest fear in the entire world is like a really muscular woman saying succulent?
No, it's just repulsive.
It's just repulsive?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can't think of any more. Anybody else got one? I came up with like all of these guys. Come on. Jeremy, where's your list of questions?
Mine are not related to this business.
Oh, okay.
They're unrelated.
All right. Well, I guess that's going to be it. So Parker, how many episodes would you like to bet on each of these questions?
Oh, none.
Call it even 100?
No.
Even 100 on all of them?
No.
All right, I'll put that down. Parker, if I remember right, this is actually how you got a lot of your debt accrued this last year.
Yeah,
you were like, I'll put 50 on it. I'll put 50 on that one, too.
Oh, yeah,
Call it 100.
this is... I realized last year that
Parker going to the debt store and loading up his cart.
Yeah, it's an incredible long shot to try to guess the incredible variance that you're going to see.
I remember one that, like, we railroaded you so hard. We were like, Parker, guess the top 4 affiliations that won this event.
Oh, that was so good.
And I was like, you don't even have to get them in the right order. Just get the top 4. And he's like, he thought about it for 30 minutes and was like, all right, you got Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D., Brotherhood, and X-Men. And it was like, nope, it was all 4 Avengers. Fuck you. Parker was so sad. He lost so hard. He lost like 500 episodes on that.
Yeah, you guys did a lot of fun was had that day. Super fun.
I would say even if you average out Parker into the amount of fun, it was still a large amount of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, how about this? Parker, who's going to be the closest? Who's going to get the most right?
Ooh. I think that... You know what? I like this. This is what I'll do. I like I like the most right. I'll take bets on myself being the most right. So it's not one thing.
How many would you like, sir?
Let's do 200 because we did. So 200 that I will have the most right out of all of us. Sure, I'll do that.
All right. So just for your knowledge, the way I was going to do this is basically we're going to give points in order to the most correct in each category, and then add up the points at the end. Is that okay with you? Just most points? Or do you want to specifically do most spot-on calls?
What do you mean most points?
So, like, let's say we go to highest win percentage, and we go down the list, and, like, say you had the faction that had the highest win percentage, and then Jeremy had the second most, then me third most, me fourth, and then Aaron fourth most. You would get the most points. You would get 4 points. Mm-hmm. Jeremy would get 3. I would get 2. Aaron would get 1.
Okay.
So I would roll down respectively, and then
Ooh, I
we
like
just add up the total amount of points.
Sure, I'll take that.
That's
200 points. That at the end of when the whole thing.
I was just gonna make
out,
a note that it has to be specifically you cold called the most if you didn't want to do that.
No, I like the idea that there's a chance that I get a point even if I'm not the one. Yeah,
right. Because I mean, if we're all just wrong on these, it's not gonna be very fun. So
right.
It's like, look, we all got 0 points, guys. Good
Moving
job.
on.
Yeah.
Point. I get it.
I mean, it's like a 1 in 30 chance on each of these, so like we're doing pretty good if we cold call a few of them. Alrighty. Oh, I got one. Oh, I got a good one. I got one more. CGR's win percentage on the weekend for Invitational.
You can't calculate that.
Why not?
Because you're not going to know if they played them.
Oh, we're going to know.
I'm sure.
We're going to know.
No, there's no way for us to know that.
No. We'll get as close as we can. I feel pretty good about this one, actually. All right, how about this? People with CGR in their rosters will add up their win percentage. You don't like this one? I like this one. I guess if you guys don't want to, it's fine.
No, I'm not with 54%.
All right, there we go. Someone took the action. 49%.
71%.
Ooh, shit.
I don't. You guys, all of us agree that you can't figure this out. So why are we taking any of these bets?
Parker,
Are you
I
afraid?
would like you to please put in an answer, or I'll put in 0. Your choice.
Texas with a dollar sign.
Would you like 1 point or potentially 4 points?
I mean,
So we
0
think-
might be right.
0 might be right.
Okay. The percentage that a person who brought CGR in their roster wins.
Mhm.
that
Total
what
win
the
percentage
bet
for
is?
CGR rosters.
CGR rosters.
Yeah, total win
Um,
percentage for CGR rosters.
I'm going to say 45%.
Okay.
How strongly
Boy,
do you
this
feel
is gonna
about
be
that answer? Your conviction is.
I rolled a
1%.
mental dice. Like I don't. I don't know.
I thought in my head, I just imagined two numbers on a scale of 1 to 10. I put them side by side. I said, that's my number.
Yeah. I feel like the likelihood of being right on this is,
I love that also the one that Parker put the least thought into is probably going to be the one he nails.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's what I went with. There's no way any educational thought gets me to something the right answer.
Someone here
Roll
has
dice.
exactly right. You win a crisp $100 bill.
Alrighty. Well, that's all I had for today. Do you guys have anything else? Jeremy, do you have any questions or anything? Or is that for other stuff?
Mine was just other stuff thing. So
Okay.
we can be good.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed. This has been Brandon.
And Parker.
And Jeremy watching Parker bet.
And Aaron.
And you've just listened to The Gang Pre-Errata's LVO.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down infamous.
One second. My desktop audio is being dumb. Test? Can someone make a noise?
We hear
Testing.
you.
Hey, we got it. It's fixed. All right.
Okay.
We're back.
I was gonna
We
say,
did
I
it.
hope we didn't blow that perfectly synced clap. That was fucking
That was
Harmon-
what it was.
it was harmony.
Perfectly
harmony. So my kid, being home for 2 days now with this fucking weather, Eli has his violin in the house, and he normally practices at his mom's, which is a whole house. So I live in a small apartment, and I'm surrounded on both sides. And I was like, "What are you doing?" He pulls out his violin. He's like, "I'm gonna play real quiet, and I'm gonna show you some
That's how
songs."
instruments generally
And I was
work.
like, "Well, it's a violin. How loud could it be?" Oh my god! That
Walls
thing,
are rattling.
oh, it cracked the sound barrier. Like, rocked the walls. Like, pictures were falling off. Dude, I was amazed. Like, in my mind, I was thinking, how amazing are instruments to make something so fucking loud? Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It is absolutely incredible what humans were able to like build and develop and invent before like what we consider technology came about. Like the best concrete like that was ever made for like 2,000 years almost was like made in was it Greek or Rome? I can't remember what country made it. I think
It's like still there today.
it's Greek concrete, isn't it? Is that what I'm thinking, Parker? Or is it Roman
Parker
concrete?
only
Roman
knows trees.
concrete.
Roman concrete, yeah. They added this special kind of like lye concentrate or something to it, and it creates this like self-healing quality to it that like the self-healing cutting mats have, but it's concrete. So like if it cracks, it's like a naturally pliable like compound within the concrete that will like naturally fill the crack over time.
It's the way
fucking crazy.
it's the way it changed. So like if you with expansion and contraction, all solids can like break, but what this stuff does is it when it contacts with water, it gains like plasticity and polymerization again, that kind of stuff. So it reforms when it gets wet, and so it's functionally concrete that heals itself. Yeah, in water.
And it's not like a secret; they know how it works. It's just really expensive to make, and so it's just cool.
It was a mystery for a long time. We were not.
Yeah, they
sure
recently
how it worked for a
discovered
long time.
the key contributing factor and the why it's so strong.
Right.
How was your guys' week?
Standard issue, really. Work is work now. It's not some sort of 7th level of hell. It's just a daily grind, which is phenomenal.
My week was
What work? I didn't have to go. It keeps snowing. So I went back for a day, and then I went back to winter break again, just because.
I'm sure
You
Jeremy
have
would
to
love
give
to
your
not
students
feed people.
homework.
Yeah.
Huh. You know what? We were just discussing today at work. My worst days I've ever worked in my life were COVID days when I wore a mask and a face shield, while everyone else was off work, even people who cooked, and they were also getting paid to be on a golf course at that times. Yeah, no, them motherfuckers are greedy. They'll just eat and eat and eat. I was hoping for a trough method. Like, is that too much? Just dump the old people food in
a trough?
Yeah. I mean, they're already in a chair, right? They just wheel themselves right up.
I'm surprised that they eat so much. Everything I've heard is the opposite.
Dude, all they do is eat.
Okay.
Now there does come, the hospice times, and they don't eat. But no, man, all they do is eat. How many really thin old people have you seen? There's 4 of them.
A lot.
On the earth.
There's 4.
The rest of them are enormous.
It's like Wall-E.
Oh, 100%. They're just not middle age. They're all just really old, and they live where I work.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to watch something and just kind of ponder existentially about it. My kids were going down a hill on a sled, and I was watching them go, climb up this hill, go down on the sled. And I was remarking upon how, like, the intense feeling of glee that they have, right? Like, intense. And I remember, like, going up on a snowboard, and going at a mountain, and, like, the intense rush and how fun that is. When you look at it and, like, what they're actually doing is they're functionally just going down a really shittily constructed slide. Like, it's bumpy and it's uncomfortable and they're cold and it's wet. Could you imagine, like, somebody making a shitty bumpy slide wet and then you slide
Here's
down
some
it?
plywood, I put some rocks on it, and it's covered in frozen water. Have fun. You're like, that sounds
terrible. And they look like they're having the time of their lives. And I think everybody agrees that sleds are super fun. But when you look at what the activity physically actually looks like, it looks like not entertaining at all. It looks actually kind of painful. And so I just thought about it. I was like, what is it about sledding down ice and snow that all humans, regardless of like language or age, socioeconomic status, it crosses through all barriers. Everyone thinks sledding is magical, but it looks it looks and it ostensibly is kind of a terrible physical activity, but everyone thinks it's special. I think it's just because I have a theory.
Oh,
That it's
I
just
also
because
have a
it
theory.
is special, right? It only happens every once in a while. Maybe I'm wrong, and there are people who in Sweden who get to snow they have snow and they can sled on it for 5 months out of the year, and they still think it's amazing. I think they do, maybe, but I don't know.
I have a
Has
story.
anyone
on
had?
I
Yeah. Go ahead, Aaron.
So when I lived in Norway, I wish I could remember what it's called. There is a sled run that you take the tram/metro to get to, and then you sled down the mountain, and it's like 5 metro stops back. So you get to sled for like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes.
Mhm.
And then you take the metro
What
back
the
to the
fuck?
top, and then you do it again. And so we ended up getting steerable sleds you sit on.
yeah,
So fucking amazing.
yeah.
So
Do
yeah.
you actually know what it is, Parker? Like why people like it? So
I'm positing it because I've always loved it, and so I'm trying
Yeah.
to figure out like why is it?
It's,
Because of what it looks like. It doesn't look like it should
it
be
has
that.
nothing to do with sledding. Human beings have evolved to enjoy moving quickly. And that's like one of the things, like the fastest humans evolved because all the ones that weren't fast died. And so like the fastest humans, like back in like you're running from bears and shit. Like
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, yeah, obviously the T-Rex is
Oh,
mainly.
you guys make me so
Parker is like shaking mad right
Running
now.
on a dinosaur? You have guns.
And so like it's just like the ones that were afraid of the dark, like evolved that trait to be afraid of the dark, because the ones that weren't afraid of the dark all got eaten by bears. And so it's like the humans that enjoyed moving quickly naturally lived longer because they enjoyed running. And so any activity a human can do where you can feel fast relative to things around you is enjoyed by people. And so you've got, like, just imagine, you remember back in the day when you started driving for the first time, how magical that was? When you're like, I'm driving a car! And like, you're going so fast, it's so cool, like driving with the windows down.
But you see,
and like, we're just so jaded by it nowadays that you don't really notice.
I see. I'll argue with you there. I think a lot of people find driving extremely stressful and anxiety-inducing.
No, they find traffic to give them anxiety and frustration.
Okay.
The actual act of driving is amazing.
Okay, I'll give you that. Yeah, if you got like a long stretch of road and nothing's in front of you and you're just driving.
Racing, the people that drive their car 100 miles an hour, why? It makes no logical sense. It's bad for your car, it's bad for you, but it's amazingly fun.
Yeah, the sensation.
Yeah, and so like rollerblading, skating, go-karting, skiing, sledding, all that stuff, water skiing, all of those things, humans love doing. They like going fast.
Well, I get that. Eleanor Roosevelt famously said,
America was built on speed. Hot, nasty, badass speed.
But
nice.
But the only thing that I will say about and maybe Aaron, I don't know if this was your experience in Norway. Maybe in Norway it was like this. Is when I see people sled. This is actually one of the things I was looking at as I was observing them. Is they're not moving very fast. Like they're not actually careening down the hill. If I, with take away the ice, if I had the ability to race them, I could definitely run faster than them down the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because they're not putting in any effort, and that's the sensation that's really interesting? Aaron, when you were sledding down, and I have heard of this. I used to read. There was a book I read in elementary school that was about this kind of phenomenon in Sweden. It was about these folks who had sled through their entire municipal area. Right, it's like 5 miles of sledding they could do every day to go east and west. So, was it really fast? Was it like a careening, like flying down the mountain kind of thing, or was it more of a gentle stroll or a quick stroll?
It was not a gentle stroll, but it was also not out of control. Holy shit! Hold on to your butts.
Hot and nasty badass speed.
Somewhere around go-kart speed, probably.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt. So, I see your posit, Brandon. I think it's probably. I think it is safe to say that like racing is probably the very first sport human beings ever invented, and probably it was children who invented it. So I can see how it is definitely evolutionary advantageous for people to want to go quicker than others, and for that to be something that we are excited to see. It activates our amygdala and our pleasure centers and that kind of thing. But I don't know. There's just something about. Let me give you another example. I know there are some people that hate roller coasters, or perhaps certain roller coasters, because the roller coaster itself is so difficult to ride, right? It's such a shaky experience or a jarring experience. It throws your bodies around. And so even though there are parts of the roller coaster that get you move really fast, it's not worth the rub, right? Of literally being shaken around on a wooden roller coaster is a good example. Many wooden roller coasters are not very smooth. And so people will say, no, I don't like to ride that one, or I won't ride that roller coaster again. So there is something to be said about comfort and enjoyment. And I guess when I look at people who are sledding, it doesn't look that comfortable or that enjoyable, and yet it's still, magical to folks.
Also, it's the relative feeling of how fast you're moving compared to your norm. Like when we ride in cars, like one of the reasons it's been kind of like dulled down, and the reason people have to drive so fast to get the enjoyment is because it's the most sterile possible environment. You're in completely air-sealed container on a suspension that takes all the feeling of movement away from you. And so, like, get out on a skateboard and do 45 miles an hour and tell me you don't feel like you're going 1,000 miles an hour. Like, it's the all about your perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, on a sled, going over all the bumps, going down a hill that makes you feel like you're going even faster. Like, I imagine that amplifies it a lot.
I mean, I think Brandon's right back when we talked about genetics, because I went to Orlando and got to ride the Velociraptor. And I felt just like my ancestors running away from the T-Rex. It was amazing.
Yep. Fact.
God, I hate that so much.
It was identical in every way.
Parker, I know that you are a somewhat educated person, but what I can tell you what you don't know about is dinosaurs. And I know a lot about dinosaurs. So let me tell you that when the humans killed all the dinosaurs with their spears, it was a great day for humanity.
Oh, Jesus, Titty.
I thought it was because we bought them blankets.
No, that was a different thing.
Oh, pretty much
We're
the
not
same
gonna
thing,
talk
though.
about that. Same thing.
I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try. I
I'm
could say,
waiting for
did
Parker
you
to
see
blink.
me?
I knew he
Did
was
you
gonna
see
do
me?
it.
Like, visibly, like the gears were turning. Like, do I dare engage in facts? No. Nope.
Come on.
Well, yeah. Why would you want to interact with the facts we're telling? Because you would just get frustrated. That
Yeah,
you're wrong.
I would just be so. I'd be so out of my element. That's why I decided not to do it.
Out of your element.
Yeah. You'd be swimming deep in that knowledge pool.
Yeah, I couldn't hang. Oh, this
So
makes me
off of
so
our
upset.
topic last week, I turned on Kim's Convenience while I was busy doing something, just so it would be on in the background. That show is so good. We really should have put it in our list. That show is so good.
I did pretty much the same exact thing. I was like, I haven't watched that in a while. I turned it on too. I had it in the background.
And you're like, oh no, I'm going to lose my whole day to this.
Yep. How much you pay for this one? Why don't you want to take a picture of me?
What you talking is like
What you
like
talking?
a saying that I wish we could use, but clearly we can't. There's the episode where Janet pretends to have a really thick Korean accent to get sympathy from somebody as a immigrant, and her parents or her mother hears her using her accent. She's like, "Why are you talking like that?" She's like, and she tries to explain that it's like, well, I was going to get in trouble, and then so I needed the sympathy, and then I did it for so long that I have to keep doing it. And she's like, "You are embarrassing us." And she's like, "I know, I'm sorry. I never should have done this. It was out of line." She's like, "No one sounds like that," and walks away. He's like, "You literally sound exactly like this." Like, where do you think she heard it from? All right. Do you guys have any other pre-ramble stuff you want to talk about? You want to talk about some trees? We haven't talked about trees yet.
Tree mold. Trees and tree mold. And
We're talking about trees.
bugs.
Well, you see, there's a special species of tree mold that only grows. No.
You guys.
I assume you guys all saw the news.
You mean the not news? The pre-news?
Yes, the pre-news.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Kenny had full release.
Yeah, I know, right? Kenny was about to punch a baby for the second time today.
Are you
bad.
talking
He keeps
about
a baby just so he can punch
the
it.
rules thing?
Yeah.
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 No, I actually didn't stare at it yet.
We'll cover it.
Yeah,
I just
let's
wanted to make
get
sure
there.
You guys.
Yeah, it's not even news. It's really just going to be a from the forum segment.
I thought we decided to never do those again.
We're doing it every week now.
Can we call it From the Fire and Flames instead of
And
forums?
I'm out.
I'm out. Don't be painting shit and catching up. That's bullshit. This is not time for that.
Can't tell me what to do.
Alrighty. I'm going to get a timestamp and we'll get started.
Nice.
Did we just forget to ask your questions, Jeremy?
No, we don't need
Or
them.
did we just kind of hit them anyway?
No, I have them. We'll do it later, some other time.
Okay. All right.
They're very general stuff, so it doesn't make a difference in when.
Oh, okay. I thought they were specifically about the tournament.
No. I did.
Okay.
No. I did the other type questions.
Okay, cool. Alrighty. All right, so moving into Mojo World this week, we have Viva Las Vegas. This is going to be specifically movies that are set in or take a important part of their point of the movie is in Las Vegas. I will take my rightful place at the head of the line, or the head of the table, if you will.
So last.
Number one position. Yeah, the best position.
So last.
Yep. Hey, turns out when you go last, you win. So maybe you guys should try and go last sometime.
You go last, you're first. First, you're last.
I actually have to go and check what the order was so I can put this in order. All right, so looks like Parker got second, so Parker's going to be next to last. And Jeremy, good news. No, wait, Aaron. Aaron, good news. You get to go first.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's the best spot to be in.
That's what I thought.
Alrighty, so
It definitely
Vegas
does when there are
movies.
only 12 movies to choose from, so we have to...
There's more than 12. I wrote down 6. God, I hope there's a lot more than that.
I know, I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah. Also, it depends on how loosely you interpret Las Vegas, but
Yeah, so my first pick is Dodgeball.
good pick. That was on my list. I didn't know how many people would count that one, but Jeremy.
Okay, so I will give an amazing movie that I love, and it's so horrible. I hate that I love it, but I also love that I love it. Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. Fucking deal.
I feel like Over the Top is exactly the most Nigel movie of all time.
Dude, I'm just throwing bait out there. I'm chumming the
There's
water.
this-
Come on, buddy.
There's this guy, he's got a son, he doesn't even really know. He drives a truck and he arm wrestles.
He arm
And
wrestles.
like,
He
that's all I
practices in
need.
the truck.
Like,
He makes his son
Nigel-
arm wrestle.
Nigel is cinder block hard right now. Like,
He actually mouthed
just-
it when I said it. It was one of those moments.
he knew it was coming. He was ready. All right, Parker, you're up.
Wow, you guys
You
left
better-
a lot of
You
mine.
better go over the top of Jeremy's pick.
I'm really impressed that you guys left a lot of mine. I'm gonna go with. Man, there's so many.
I love this topic because I just made it up on the spot without even thinking about what movies I would pick.
I'm gonna go with.
So-
I'm gonna go with my actual favorite. Which is not really the point of this, is that you go with your favorite first. But I'm gonna go with Vegas Vacation.
Oh, that's on my list.
I love Vegas Vacation.
It's a good one.
Also, it's
Wow.
just dripping with Las Vegas stuff. It's just
Yeah, exactly. Whew, boy. All right, so 2 of mine are gone, but not my best ones. So I'm going to go with Casino.
I'm
I was
pretty
gonna
sure
say
you
it's
chose that.
which you can only do because it reset. But
Yeah,
you
we
can do-
reset with the new year.
Oh, okay.
There's no dupes anymore. Or at least starting on January. But then my next one, I'm going to go with Ocean's 11. The heist movie. All right, now I'm down to just 2, so hopefully you guys don't take my last 2. All right, Parker, you're up.
Wait, what? Oh, because it goes back up. Got it. Sorry, I don't know what the
Yeah.
hell.
He's new.
I don't think I've ever been. I don't
He's
think I've
used
ever
to
been-
being number 1.
Yeah, I'm
and,
it's so weird.
always having the worst vote. So
Yeah,
It's an East
I'm
German
gonna go.
film.
I'm going to go with the only good one, the Hangover 1.
Ooh, I didn't even put those on there.
The movie is really good.
Alright, good, solid pick. Jeremy, can you top your last pick?
Man, I'm trying to skirt the edges and not name obvious. Okay, all yours are on my list as well. So I kind of want to continue with these like white trash movies. I'm gonna do it.
There's a lot of old movies.
I'm just
that are in
going
this
down the
category.
hole. Reindeer Games, starring Ben Affleck. Gary Sinise.
I've not seen that.
Oh my God, it's so good, and it's a Christmas movie.
Okay, Aaron, your last two picks.
Okay. Con Air.
Ah, I wanted that one.
How's that in a
And
casino?
No, they land in Las Vegas.
Yeah, they landed it.
Oh, okay.
Indecent Proposal.
That's a great movie.
Okay. That takes us to Jeremy's final pick. This better be top notch.
Maverick with Mel Gibson. Fucking sign that shit. Done.
Is that in Vegas?
Is
They
it?
a
do that on
casino.
a riverboat. No, it's a riverboat.
Yeah?
It's
Casino.
not a casino.
It's not about casinos. It's just Las Vegas specific.
God damn it.
Although Maverick is a great movie.
It is a wonderful movie,
Okay.
but I veto.
Yeah,
Fine. I'll give you a real one, you sons of bitches.
that would be nice.
Casino
Much appreciated.
Casino Royale. Wait, that's probably not in Vegas either.
That's not. That's in Europe.
Also,
Rounders.
Jeremy
Rounders.
Rounders.
Throw it.
Rounders
Yes.
does not take place in Vegas.
Yes, it does.
Not at all.
No,
No.
no.
He travels to Vegas and plays in the biggest tournament in Vegas at the end, and in the middle, he's also in Vegas.
Does that actually happen in the movie?
Yes.
No, they go to Atlantic City in the middle part.
Do they?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Okay, we'll go with number 5.
I would love to give you Rounders because Rounders is great and it's very thematic. But I don't actually think there's any part of the movie where they're in Vegas.
I think you're right.
If
I
I'm
think it
wrong,
was
I'm
Atlantic
fine
City.
with that.
Atlantic City.
It is. They go to Atlantic City in the middle. It's
He goes
only if
to
they go to
Vegas
Vegas in
at
the
the
end,
end.
and I forgot.
Um,
He loses the money he was gonna spend at Vegas, and then he gets stuck there.
no. Ocean's 13. Have we picked that one yet?
No.
We've already picked an Ocean's though. That sucks.
I have not seen Ocean 13.
Jesus
Is
Christ.
it in Vegas? That's all. I'm just asking if it's in Vegas. I know the second one's
it
in
is.
Europe.
No,
Okay,
it
if
is
it
in
is, we're
Vegas.
good.
It's very much like the first one.
Veto 4 movies in a row for Jeremy.
He's new to this. Give him some time.
No, I was trying to hit the edges, man. I didn't want to give.
No, you're
obvious one.
fine. All of your movies were like right there with the other movies we were naming. It just didn't actually hit.
Yeah,
the
I was thinking
topic.
casino instead of Vegas.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, Parker. No, Parker's done. Yeah, Parker. One more.
No, I have one more.
One more.
I'm going to go
Good.
with...
I got both mine left.
This is a really, really hard choice for me, actually. But I think I'm going to go with Mars Attacks.
I thought about doing that one.
We are your friends. Do not run.
Do not run. We are your friends. Zap.
Just like the ultimate campy movie, right? Just,
It's so campy. Yeah. Man, am I gonna end up with a bunch of weird ones? Or like good ones? So I'm gonna say the one I actually enjoy more, even though the other one is clearly a better movie. I'm gonna go with 3,000 Miles to Graceland, not because it's good, because it's awesome.
I haven't seen it.
It's Kevin Costner and what's the other guy's name? What is his name?
Is it Billy Bob Thornton?
Captain Ron? What's his name?
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell, yeah. But they basically rob a casino as a gang of like 6 guys that all are Elvis impersonators. And it's like an action comedy, but it's got like this weird, like serious undertone to it. It's kind of like 7 Psychopaths, if you've ever seen that, but less good. It's fun. It's not great, but it's fun. But basically, Kevin Costner's character actually believes he's Elvis's son because his like backstory is like very shady. And so he thinks that he was actually Priscilla's son. because he was an orphan, like given up for adoption that year and stuff. But anyway, yeah, they rob a casino at the beginning of the movie, and then the fallout of them robbing the casino is the movie. It's pretty cool. It's not great. It's just fun.
I remember when it came out a million years ago. I just never saw it.
Yeah, it was one of those things like I could watch it when I was a kid because we rented it. So honorable mentions. I had 21. Rounders would have been great. It's basically 21 is just shitty Rounders.
Yeah. I had the movie that I really enjoyed it, but it's so hard to watch. Leaving Las Vegas is just a fucking horrible movie. That's amazing. Like, just amazing acting.
There's a lot of the ones on this list I hadn't seen. It's like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Leaving Las Vegas, Swingers. There's a bunch that I have not actually seen.
I thought this one would get vetoed, but I almost put it was Rango, because technically it takes place like right next to Vegas, but you don't find out. You don't find out it does until like the very end of the movie.
Oh, because he's like on the outskirts of Vegas.
Yeah, it's like in the desert around Vegas.
I mean, it's better than anything Jeremy said. So.
Whoa! I started with Over the Top. I'm telling you right now, that one.
Yeah, oof, that movie.
I don't need more than that.
Takes place on the road.
Takes place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I turn my hat on backwards so I can be stronger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that movie's so fucking creepy and weird.
Yeah, I know, man. It's not even right. It's the classic, like, the dad was a douchebag and then wants to go get his kid back. And, like, the parent-in-laws are shitty and try to stop him because he's such a douche. But he's got a heart of gold and trying to fucking...
One of those, like, kid stories, like what parents are going to keep the other parent from their kids, like, in a weird way? Like, it's
so
just so
weird.
odd.
Yeah.
It's like, it's one of those, like, childhood storylines where it's like, when you think, like, the villains can only be parents. And so they have to come up with a way for a parent to be the villain. That doesn't make any sense. It's pretty funny.
Around that time, it was usually the in-law parents that were trying to be, take care of the daughter. Yeah. There's a bunch of those.
The Parent Trap one where it's like, oh, my dad's girlfriend is marrying him and she's a total bitch, but only when she's around me crap. Like that shit got regurgitated so many times. It's like, she's basically, the turning you into Cinderella crap where she's like making you do all the chores and live in the basement and shit.
All right, that topic ended up being all right. I got to list a bunch of movies that weren't okay. I love it.
Yeah, you got through most of your list because you got to have.
Yeah, man, I went deep.
God, Richard gave me another joke. I don't even think I can read this.
Oh God,
this one's really bad. Yeah, I'm not going to say that one. That one's so bad.
Hey, we haven't talked about our stats in a while. Like, we got people still listening or what?
Nope, everyone stopped.
They quit.
We haven't had a listen in weeks.
Shit.
Aaron's like, what? Why are we doing
People
this?
gave up on us months ago. We only have the listen.
Ooh.
We have one.
I did not realize we had hit another milestone.
Oh.
30,000 listens, boys. We did it.
Hells yeah.
That was our goal the whole time. And we did got it. So this will be the last episode. Actually, I probably won't even edit this because we hit it already. We're at 30,236, so... Not even going to bother anymore.
YouTube gives you just like a crushed can on a fucking plaque.
Yeah.
There you go, douchebag.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see if our oldies but goodies are still the most popular episodes. Episode ranking. Ooh, that's a little surprising. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Call it 5. Our top 5 plays are basically all in the last 10 episodes.
What?
That's crazy. That means that we're going up in popularity.
Well, all the other casts are stopped fucking recording, so we're just going to be the last rats on the ship.
Episode 159 is actually our most played, which is technically not in the last 10, but it's pretty close. 445 plays.
Ooh.
Just through this outlet. So, like, if anybody's listening on YouTube or anything like that, or on Patreon, that doesn't count. Cool. Thanks, guys. We always appreciate the audience. It's good to know that we're not just screaming into the void. But, I mean, I'd still be here screaming into the void regardless.
I was going to say, that's one of our favorite things to do. Well, I can't speak for Aaron. Aaron seems like a void husher. Just looks deeply and thoughtfully into the void.
He just likes to look into the void, not say anything to it.
And when it looks back at him, it turns away because it can't tell his...
It turns away.
It can't take his silence. Am I wrong, Aaron? Or am I getting it spot on?
He approaches the void with as much indifference and apathy as he does to everything else.
I basically assume the void is every human being I've ever met.
Ignorable? Is that what you mean?
Contemptible, maybe.
Yeah, contemptible. There it is. I like that better.
What is the like? There's a saying, and it reminds me of kind of what you're talking about, where it's like someone says that they don't like you and or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm sure if I thought about you, I wouldn't like you either." It's like the worst.
I don't even know who you are. What does this mean? There's a new stat.
Hell yeah! Is that the money stat?
The number of times your show or any of your episodes were shown to anyone by the Spotify app. So the number of times somebody did a search or scrolled and saw us in the last 30 days.
0.
12.
I want your actual guesses without going over.
How many times somebody just saw but didn't click
Yeah,
on?
basically we were on their screen. How many times we were on screen of somebody looking at stuff?
I mean, it could be anywhere from 5 to like 8,000. I have no fucking clue how Spotify does their shit.
Is that ever since I put up my feet pics?
Your Only Feet is doing great. I will say that.
Only Feet?
Only Feet.
It's a shitty OnlyFans site.
It's
Spin-off
terrible.
site.
It's a subsidiary. They found it easier just to move it all to one place. It slowed down the lag.
Subsidiary. Is it like 100? I have no idea.
It is more than 100.
I will say 2,000. I don't have no idea what this is.
This is more than 2,000.
Wow.
What? I guess all those-
7,654.
See,
That's I had no fucking idea.
8,000 was pretty close.
8,000 is pretty good.
Finally, my AI.
So what you're
bot
saying
working.
is 7,200 people decided that we weren't worth clicking on.
Exactly.
No, it doesn't say they didn't click on us. It just says we were shown on their screen.
Well, if we have 445 listens, that tells me that I can do basic math.
No, that was a single episode over the last...
I know.
Well, I mean, it was episode 159, so it'd only been out like a month or so. It says our estimated audience size is around 250 people, which are like regular listeners that always tune in. And there's obviously people coming in and check it out. What did we do on episode 159? Was it like a Depticon wrap-up or a WTC wrap-up or something?
If only you could look at it on the site you're on.
I know, that's what I'm checking. Spotify, tell me my show. What do I do? Details. The gang chooses their favorites. Huh.
Was that the
Man.
quiz show episode?
No, October 7th is before we left for WTC.
Oh. That's very strange.
Yeah, weird. 3 hours and 5 minutes.
Ooh, that's a
That was
big
a
one.
big boy.
Must
Yeah.
have been really bad, because after people listened to it, they didn't keep listening.
Audience retention, 80% listen for at least 2 hours. That's pretty good audience retention.
Yeah, people are fucked up.
Yeah, I know. They're crazy. Let's see. Ooh, this is a fun. 33% listen to 100% of the episode.
Previous comment stands. If you're still listening,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing with your life?
Median playtime, 2 hours, 13 minutes. Ooh, check this out. 92% made it past 4 minutes, and almost all of them stayed to 2 hours. Because at 2 hours, we only drop off to 85%. That's pretty good. I'm sure this is the worst content anyone's ever heard before.
Yeah.
Well, then we're just listing off things.
What are we
keep
doing?
listening to us pat ourselves on the back.
I'm mostly impressed at you guys, like the listeners. Like, dude, they listen to this. That's great. We had a pretty big pushback initially when we first started recording that people wanted us to do like the standard hour format. And I was always pushing back because it's like, if you just listen to half and then listen to the second half later, that's 2 1 hour episodes.
Mhm.
It's like, you're getting more content. And it's like, why would we turn off the mics if we're still talking? But yeah, I hate podcasts that are like, we're going to do a 1 hour like format show. And I'm like, why? Like, just stop when you're done talking. Like, you shouldn't drag out shitty topics to 1 hour episodes. Just like if you have a really good episode topic, you shouldn't cut it short and rush through it. It's like, you should take as long as it takes to get done. Like, that's what I want. I want you to talk about the thing as long as it's interesting.
That's one thing I don't like about that sport talk show, Nick Wright. I want to listen to him so much more. Like, I'm like, when he's down, I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. The What's Right with Nick Wright podcast I listen to as well. And it used to be, he used to do it on XM radio show, that exact format. And it was really annoying because they would only get to like half the content. And I would always be like, I want to hear more about these topics. But it was just like, it didn't work. So now they switched to podcast. He runs over on time constantly, but we get more content, which is great.
Yeah, he's a very entertaining guy to listen to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Also, he's got a very similar to my sense of humor where he just like goes way over the top and calls people out. And it's like, that's always fun.
Starts screaming and like just yelling and like just basically being like, I am so right and you are stupid.
He does have some of the worst metaphors ever, though. Like, he's really bad at metaphors. He's like, all right, so like imagine you're walking down the street, right? It's like, how does this have anything to do with catching a football? Like,
all right, let's get Aaron in bed.
Yep.
We almost got it.
Now we got 8 more minutes. Don't you know the rules? We have to stay on for another 8 minutes.
Oh, yeah, shh, quiet down.
Yeah, shh. Aaron, I have good news for you.
Doubtful.
Tomorrow will be 3 times gloomier than today.
That is actually good news.
We're going to speak in code.
Yeah, I like code.
Jeremy, your train set should be done tomorrow.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'll have it all at the store, barring another power outage. You know what happens when the power goes out midway through a 3D print?
It destroys
I know.
Right?
It stops
you get
printing.
to throw a lot of stuff away. Luckily, it ended 90% done for the second time. I'm like, God damn it. Yeah, I've had two prints stop at 90% done for different reasons in the last few days. Like, well, I'm glad I threw away $10 in resin for no reason.
Well, keep the ticket money that would be whatever portion is yours, and then just get me the rest for the train set. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works. I told Chris just to bring cash. I think he's gonna be there tomorrow, but we'll do that. Coolsies. All right, I guess that's it for today. Anybody else got anything else?
I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll get back to the CAD file mines and just keep mining away at CAD.
Oh yeah,
do it.
I'll be at Biscuit at 10:15. GameSpot at 11.
Yeah, we'll see what time I wake up.
Sure. Your sweater will be delivered at probably 9:30 or 10, but
it's not even going to get cold until midnight. That's fine.
Yep, perfect.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.